Frigid temperature and cold weather stadiums, outdoor stadiums, has been a feature of this weekend, as we've been talking about, and that is going to continue at Foxborough, where the Patriots host the Bills, the defining matchup in the AFC East as we head down the stretch, because the Patriots have already gotten one over on the Bills, Brian, and the Bills 1 point favourites. The bookies seeing this as very, very tightly poised on the road. And spoiling for revenge against the Patriots, who have put them in a hole and have streaked away with the AFC East so far this season.
This is not even like a pick-em game anymore. It's just literally nailed on 1 point. It just shows the nature of where they're at and the faith in which QuinnBet and other bookmakers have in the Bills to go in there. Slight favourites. They still think that they've got more than enough to just about get over the line against the Patriots. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots do, because you could argue they didn't really have a proper game a couple of weeks ago against the Giants, for all due respect. It was Monday night. The game was over by the middle of the second quarter. It was a damn squib for many a person watching that game. And did we get enough out of Patriots to see, where they're at? Like, then they go on their bye week. They're obviously well prepared for this game. Like Vrabel, I mean, this is perfect for them. And in terms of they've 2 weeks to prepare for arguably the biggest game of the season, an opportunity to lock down the AFC East, secure that, potentially even secure the 1 seed in the coming weeks, where you look at the Bills, who have gone into this juggernaut of a game last weekend. Snowstorms took a while for them to get going, come out the right. But sometimes the momentum can swing in the balance in terms of it doesn't necessarily mean a week off can actually do detrimental things to you because you're not prepared, or so you're not well prepared for a situation like that. I think it's Josh Allen hair on fire stuff on Sunday, which is what I suggested on Monday's show. Like, we've seen Josh Allen, crazy Josh Allen, hair on fire Josh Allen, mature Josh Allen. And you said it, when he needs to come out with these, unbelievable plays and take the team and put them on their back, knowing they don't have all the players and all the weapons that can get them over the line, he finds a way to do it. And I think that's what's going to happen on Sunday. I think this comes down nip and tuck to the fourth quarter, but I just think Josh Allen could be even a running touchdown or something to that scenario. But it's the Bills for me, and they keep their slim hopes of winning this division alive. Bills.
Kieran, I could certainly argue this one both ways, and I agonised over it. How do you see it?
Well, first off, I mean, Vrabel is 6-0 coming off a bye, so we'll start with that. And the other factor that I think is really going to get his blood boiling is the Bills are, the Pats are a home dog. I mean, the Bills are a 1 point favorite, which is, he's going to be going mad about that, and that's going to be the locker room material right there. The fact that the Bills coming into Foxborough against a team that's won 10 in a row are the favorite is he's just going to get everyone riled up for that one. It's going to be a whole different game than it was week 4 when the Pats beat the Bills. But, I just look again, it's one of those games where you look around the field and you look where the talent is. Yeah, the Bills got Josh Allen, they got James Cook, but they got a suspect run D. The secondary is not all that great. And then I look at the other side, I look at the Patriots, and they've got Drake May. They got Travion Henderson, who's just a beast with the ball. And then you just look around. No real megastars anywhere, not on offense. But for me, it's it's the no names on defense for me that are going to be the difference. I mean, you got people like, you hear them from time to time, but, Clavon Chase and Barrymore, Christian Ellis, Jalen Hawkins, just guys that are unheralded, but consistently put in 7, 8, 9 tackles in games. And I mean, this is I mean, we saw what they did against Dart. Christian Ellis did against Jackson Dart. I mean, that's the mentality. Dart, all he had to do was put a foot out of bounds. It would have been good, but no, he decided to stay in and he got absolutely rocked. So the mentality they're taking on, or they've already taken on Vrabel's personality. I mean, it's gravelly. It's not unlike, the Lions right now with the Campbell attitude. But for me, if there is 1 point, it's a 1 point game, and for me it's going to be the Patriots, because I just look around the team and they're stronger together. I don't think, again, we love Allen and he's great in December, but the rest of the team, for me, this is some question marks. I mean, are they going to be able to run the ball against this Pats defense? Are they going to be able to throw the ball? Because their biggest receiver, or their receiver with the most amount of yards, is Khalil Shakir. He only has 585 yards receiving in the year so far, which is not a huge amount when you look at other teams. So if it's not Allen burning up on the ground, and if it's not Cook putting up 150, I would worry about the Bills' ability to go into Foxborough in frigid conditions. Not that they're not used to that as well, but I just think that the Patriots overall have a more complete team, notwithstanding the fact that they won those 10 games in a row. But I just think they've got from from May all the way down to the secondary. I just think that that's a more complete team. It's a hungrier team. All these Patriots players are either free agents that no one believed in, or they're rookie draft picks. A lot of these Bills guys have been there for quite a while. And you got to wonder who's the hungrier. And for me, it's the Pats. So I got the Pats probably by a field goal when all said and done.
Yeah, that Bills victory, to both of your points earlier, was the one that people look back to when, there's maybe questions over how good the Patriots are because of the relative weakness of their schedule in other weeks and the way things have fallen for them through no fault of their own. And we've made the point time and time again, they're not just beating teams, they're putting teams away comfortably. They're laying the wood, which is what you should be doing when you're a good team, is beating the bad teams and beating them well. But the Bills victory is the one that, perhaps unlike, say, the Bears until the Eagles victory, people had been questioning the Bears, saying, well, are they really any good? Have they beaten anybody good? The Patriots could always stand over that Bills win. So I think there's a lot of things that line up in New England's favour here. I think, you would think coming off a bye, to your point, Kieran, Vrabel very good in these situations. They'll have been able to plan for this one and see it coming down the tracks. They're obviously at home. And they've got absolutely nothing to lose here. And I think Vrabel's going to play all that stuff cleverly. The bulletin board material is all there for them. They still don't respect us. They still have the Bills as favourites on the road. This is where we seal the division. It's too good a chance to let slip. I'm not entirely sure that that's still quite enough to get it done, though. And maybe I'm just, not that I'm doubting New England. I spoke on the show the other week about how they've maximised what's available to them probably to a greater extent than any other team in the league has right now. They're absolutely playing at their optimal level, and you can only admire that, and you can only admire the coaching that has unlocked that, and the rehabilitation of Josh McDaniels among that, what they've done offensively, allied to what they've been able to do on the other side of the ball, where they're as hard-nosed as they ever were when Mike Vrabel was playing for them. I've seen the Bills under McDermott and with Josh Allen as quarterback so often at this stage of the season start to pick up and start to shift into gear and start to get the wins that they need when they need them. Like we've seen them season in, season out, have a little bit of a wobble in November heading into December, and then right it coming down the stretch. That game for me in the snow against the Bengals was precisely what they needed coming into this one. And I wonder, and slightly talking against myself here, was it actually not the best timing for New England to have their bye when they did, when they were absolutely rolling? And there is a risk here that they come out cold in more ways than one. It's a very, very tough game to pick. But I do think I'm going to favour the Bills in this one, and to justify that very, very slight tag of favourites that they have, as we move on now to Panthers Saints. Kieran.
Yeah, I think the Saints are a 2.5-point favorite back in the Mercedes Dome. Again, we talk about teams with seasons that are done. I mean, the Saints have been done. I think they're trying to work out Tyler Shock now to see if he's the man. And he's been okay. I think
who that team they're going to beat them Saints. It's literally every team.
I mean, they are pretty awful. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm trying to talk them up a little bit.
They beat the top team in the division last week, guys. Relax.
Yeah, anyway. So I'm trying to talk up Tyler Shock. I mean, he's got legs. He's mobile. He's serviceable. I'll give him that. But the rest of the team around him, I mean, when you think about the Saints, you really only think about Cam Jordan, maybe DeMario Davis. I don't think Alvin Kamara is going to be playing. They're going to have Devin Neal behind center. They're probably going to throw some Wildcat with Taysom Hill in there. But, at this stage, they got a couple more games left to see what they got in Tyler Shock. Saying that, they're probably going to do some work in the draft and see who's coming out. But for the story is about the Panthers and what they can do. We saw what they did last time against the Rams. And this is the kind of schizophrenic Bryce Young that we never know who we're going to see. I mean, threw 3 touchdowns against the Rams, looked real good. And then he can go out and have a stinker like he did against the Saints about a month ago when they got beat 17-7. So it's all there for the Panthers. I mean, I did like the Panthers at the start of the season. I think I had them down for 8 or 9 wins, and they're on that path. But I think when it comes time to separate the chaff, I think it's going to be. I think Tampa's going to probably take this division, but I think the Panthers are going to run them hard. You got to love Ted McMillan. I mean, he's probably got to be up there for the offensive rookie of the year consideration. Just a phenomenal athlete, great wide receiver, and he's helped this Panthers team, and he's helped Bryce Young out so much too. But the Panthers D for me, I mean, they really showed against the Rams what they can do. They had some couple of turnovers. and they were able to limit the Rams and what they were able to do. Couple of people coming back for the Panthers. You got Christian Roseboom coming back, Trayvon Wallace, and you also got Morrig, who had that suspension that he served already. So they're going to be stronger on defense. It's going to be a lot of shock kind of scrambling, and it's going to be a lot of sacks, a lot of turnovers, a lot of forced fumbles. I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout because I like the Saints to kind of scramble and be scrappy. Like we saw what they did against the Bucs last week, but I don't think they're going to be able to replicate that. The Bucs are kind of scrambling, and they're. I'm not saying they're on a slide, but they got them at a good time last week. But this Panthers team is getting healthier. I think it's going to be a lot of Chuba Hubbard on the ground. It's going to be Tep McMillan, a little bit of Xavier Legette, and they want to reverse this kind of. They are your classic inconsistent team, the Panthers right now. Since October 19th, they've gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So they've got to, if they're going to do anything, and Canales, whose job is not in jeopardy at all, I think they're going to want to see what they can get out of Bryce Young these last couple of games. Because I've said it before, I don't think he's your franchise quarterback, but they're going to know in the next couple of games whether he is or not, or whether they're going to be able to overhaul the Bucs in this division. So it's a big game for Young. It's a big game for Canales, and it's a really big game for the Panthers. And they have to stick with the Bucs in this division and see if they can push them all the way to the end. But probably a touchdown when all said and done. I don't think the Saints are going to embarrass themselves, but it should be a Panthers win.
Brian, it is a big game for the Panthers, clearly because of the playoff stakes here. But as Ron Rivera mentioned, former coach of the Panthers, when we had him on last week, and listen back to that one if you haven't had a chance to hear Ron opine on various matters, including the Panthers' prospects this season, he zeroed in on the point that the Panthers have been brilliant at home, a little bit patchy away from home, and this is the kind of opportunity that they need to take advantage of if they're going to make the playoffs to win a game on the road. Yeah,
you stole my tongue there, Conor. I was going to allude to that particular point which you made last week. 3 wins on the road, but it's more the nature of some of these performances on the road. They're not even staying within games.
He's my friend. I interviewed him.
Well, there you go. You can have him. You can look after him when he comes over to Dublin for an event. Yeah, they're not confirming anything.
Me and Ron. I'm Ron Rivera.
But he made valid points, Conor. It was a very valid point. They're very impressive. They've done really good stuff over the course of the season. Bryce Young is playing at a level in which we haven't seen. I always think back to what Kieran said about the fact that he was at the press conference. He looked like a shell of himself. He looked like his career was on quickly on the way out. And we got to give him the juice. We got to give the head coach and everyone credit that's rebuilt him up. And here they are now challenging for the division. They'll know on Sunday what's ahead of them because, bear in mind that the Bucs and Falcons are going to play in Thursday Night Football. They'll know exactly what the situation is, and they could be even in a bigger spot where they know if they win, they could take hold of the division depending on the nature of what results we get tonight. It's a precarious game because I'm not as down on the Saints in terms of the quarterback play that Kieran, I think, because Tyler Shook not just played really well last week. I thought credit from the previous week where they were 16-0 down against the Dolphins on the road, and he found the way to come back and nearly found a way to get over the line and actually win that game. I think they're going to give Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore a problem. He is, come the end of the season around, what are they going to do come draft time? Because if he keeps playing at a reasonably good level, he then potentially could be the guy next year for them. And maybe that puts them in a better position to draft out of that spot because we're assuming they're going to be top 5, top 6. And they get a haul and then they find a way to navigate a situation where they build around that quarterback as opposed to focusing on a quarterback in the draft. All things aside, Saints will play tough. It's a division game. Kieran alludes that they beat them on the road already in terms of going into Carolina and winning. I think the form will be reversed. I think it's too big a game for the Panthers. They're coming off the bye. They'll be ready. They'll win this game.
I think Carolina will win as well. We're in Jacksonville next in your hometown, Kieran, where the Jags, like the Panthers, benefiting from the presence of a former Baker Mayfield offensive coordinator in Liam Cohen in this case. The heaviest favourite of the weekend, 12.5-point favourites at home. It's all sunny in Jacksonville at the moment. It literally wasn't sunny last week, but in terms of how the football is going, it couldn't be better.
It was not sunny last week. It was rainy and wet as all get out. But it will be nice. It'll be 70-something and sunny on Sunday to welcome the Jags back after their performance. Yeah, this is a whole different vibe in Jacksonville, a whole different team. I mean, Cohen's got everybody. I mean, I was in the press conference area waiting for Cohen and Lawrence to come in, and you could hear them wrapping up we've seen the footage of Cohen kind of, yelling and screaming in the locker room. And you could hear that right through the walls. And a lot of the beat writers who are pretty much beaten down from 20 plus years of terrible football in Jacksonville were looking at each other going, it's totally different. I mean, this guy has got something different about him. And this Jaguars team is playing. I've never seen a team.
This guy that we all dumped on because he didn't get the Duval chance right at the start of the season. Wow, how quickly things have turned. Good for him.
Well, I think if he had a do-over, he would have made a much better effort at that. I mean, he's
do-over.
That'll be. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a totally different vibe in Jacksonville now. I mean, the players are playing. You can see him playing for Cohen. I was watching when I was up in the press box, watching how Campanelli was interacting with his players when the offense was on the field, and he was constantly there, just getting the defensive players, just getting them ready for performance. And he was doing real good with that, making sure that they were ready for the next play. But this Jacksonville team is just it's a different beast. I mean, ever since that Texans game, Cohen just basically told Lawrence, just stop playing scared, just air it out, just have fun out there. And you can see Lawrence is a much different player now. Some of his throws, even in the wet conditions last week, were really good. I mean, he was throwing to Myers, throwing to BTJ, just accurate, clean, crisp. He only had a couple of overthrows. And then the rest is just ETN on the ground, just chewing up yards. But again, it's the number one run defense in the league. Taylor came in with this reputation. He got, I think, 87 yards and a touchdown. But, I mean, they were all over him, and they were just on top of him as soon as he touched the ball, and the Colts were not able to do a thing. I mean, the game was over almost, by the time it started. And this Jaguars team right now, I mean, they could get to 10 wins, which is hugely uncharted territory for this team in the last God knows how long. Not since Tom Coughlin, probably. And this Jets team coming in is, I mean, listen, I mean, this is just another wasted season in Jetland. I mean, they're going to have Brady Cook out there throwing the ball. The only one that they can really, hang their hat on and look to the future for me is Mason Taylor, the tight end, Jason Taylor's kid. Who's, I'm not sure how far he'll go with the Jets. I think on another team, he'd be a superstar. Breece Hall has already got his bags packed. He's got no interest in sticking around. So, I think he barely touched the ball last week. I think he had 43 total yards and 14 touches. So he's already got one foot out the door. 12.5 is a spread. I think the Jags are just going to pour it on the Jets. The Jets have no will left. There's nothing for them to play. Nothing for them to play for except pride. Probably a couple of second stringers out there trying to impress and trying to, scramble for a job at another team. But it's a sinking ship. Jags are in the ascendancy, and they are going to look to, obviously they got one eye on what Houston's doing, but they're going to want to, put their stamp on this division. They already put a huge marker last week. Colts did not show up at all. They were poor even after, or even before Jones went out injured. They were just poor. So this is going to be a big win for the Jags. They are just rolling right now. I don't see it as being a trap game. I think they're going to put up a huge amount of points on the Jets, and real happy crowd in Duval.
Yeah, I agree. If you could credit Aaron Glenn and the coaching staff for saying that the Jets players don't look like they'd quit to this point. I mean, they've no quarterback. They shift players out the door. I was stunned when Shane dropped the stat, and I hadn't seen it until he mentioned it on the show last week, that the Jets, the only team in the league without a single interception, which, when you have a defensive coach like Aaron Glenn, something that they're going to have to look at for next season, clearly. Special teams have been the only standout for them. They've had a couple of great special teams plays, a couple of great kickoff and punt returns. That's about the only positive sign over the last couple of weeks that the Jets have been managing to create a little bit of chaos and stay in games and make things interesting at times by pulling a rabbit out of a hat. But that's not a way to live, and it's certainly not going to be enough against the Jags team that, to your point, Kieran, and you've made the point really well, is rolling right now, where Cohen and Lawrence seem to be on the same page, and you're getting the better version of Trevor Lawrence. We know that the ceiling with him is not at the level of generational talent, and we'll see how it plays out as the rest of the season goes and into the playoffs when it gets interesting. But this in no way, shape or form is a trap game. It's Jags all the way, Brian.
If it wasn't for the fact that the Jags are such an enticing story right now, Conor, this would have been in the quick pick section. It's a Jags victory for me.
All right, Will, I tell you what is in the quick pick section is Titans 49ers, where I got Niners all day long. Brian.
Sneaky team coming down the stretch, 49ers for me.
Kieran.
Yeah, as much as I love Ward, we talk about teams in the ascendancy and starting to get hot. The Niners are that right now. So, yeah, it'll be a Niners win.
Okay, we'll take our final timeout.